It is a troubling scene. A man or a woman who served our country in the U.S. military living under a bridge or in the woods. This week, Governor Malloy announced a new plan to wipe out homelessness among veterans. And with us now to talk about that is the State Housing Commissioner, Evonne Klein. Commissioner Klein, good to see you on the program. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
What exactly is being done to get these homeless vets off the streets?
Well, it's an exciting conversation to have this morning. Governor Malloy announced on Thursday afternoon the state of Connecticut has effectively ended veterans' homelessness. And what that means is that in the state of Connecticut, we have a system in place that quickly identifies any homeless veteran and rapidly moves them into permanent housing. And we do all of this. Our goal is to do this within 90 days. And I'm proud to say that we've certainly exceeded our goal, and we are housing veterans into permanent housing in less than 90 days across the state of Connecticut.
Will the housing be?
The housing where we're placing veterans is across the state of Connecticut, so it's not concentrated in one area.
So it's not shelters necessarily?
It's not shelters, no. We're talking about permanent housing, keys to an apartment. And what we have noticed over the past several years is that something wasn't working. We were managing homelessness rather than helping individuals, and especially our veterans, find a permanent place to live. So our providers, our governmental and non-governmental local, state, and federal agencies, we've come together and we've developed a very effective system where we now have reliable data identifying our veterans. We do outreach, something we've never done before,
sure.
Referrals, and all of this work and all of this collaboration allows us to house veterans quickly.
I realize every story is different, but how is it that a veteran who served our country and is discharged, either honorably or dishonorably, and then ends up homeless? How does that happen?
Well, they come back home and through, poor circumstances, perhaps have lost touch with their family or moved back home and come back and they're traumatized in some way from serving our country and develop some perhaps mental issues, or we've heard certainly substance abuse issues, and can fall into homelessness. And what we've done in the past is we've tried to get folks sober or have them get a job first while they're homeless. That doesn't work. Connecticut is a housing first state. And what that means is that we believe that and what has proven that works, is when we house a homeless individual or homeless veteran first, they can get and keep a job because they have an address. They have a place to go home to. They can receive mail. They can write down the simplest thing of writing down, this is my address for a job application. They get and stay sober because they have a community of supports around them. So, how it happens, what remains here today in 2016 Connecticut is that we're here to catch folks. Are
there rules and restrictions for these veterans once they're given an apartment by the state? Are there guidelines they have to follow?
Well,
do they have to stay clean?
They need to pay the rent.
Okay.
And I think what we want to focus here on is that this is housing that we've been building across the state since Governor Malloy has been elected. And I'm proud to say part of our responsibilities at the Department of Housing is to build affordable housing. And just last year alone, we built 11,000 units of affordable housing across the state and 16,000 units of housing in the past 5 years. So providing funding, gap funding to build affordable housing across the state allows veterans to have a place to call home. So clearly they need to pay the rent. If they are on any sort of support program, then they would need to abide by whatever their program is.
And so the rent would come from their federal benefits?
Some of the rent would come from a rental certificate, a rental assistance program certificate. For some veterans, yes.
All right. Thank you very much. The Commissioner of Public Housing in our state, Evonne, best of luck to those veterans.
Thank you.